It's been almost a month since the Nintendo Switch 2 has come out, and I have to say, I'm having a blast with it. And it's made me remember why I loved the Switch and gaming as a whole. But over the last few years, that love diminished. So join me as I take a look on why I lost that love, but managed to find it again. My decline in using the Switch started to happen in 2021. I was a junior in high school, and I can't remember a period where I was playing any games, except one at the start of the year. I remember buying 3D World at launch because it was one of my favorite Wii U games, but I didn't own it anymore because I had sold my Wii U to build a PC 2 years prior. That would be my only purchase on the system for all of 2021. I would later get Skyward Sword HD for Christmas, along with Metroid Dread, but I never ended up playing either of them till much later on. 2022 was a good year for games in general, and Nintendo was no different. For Switch games, I got Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Xenoblade 3, and Pokemon Violet all on release. I've never made it far into Kirby. I've seen countless praise for it online, but it has never clicked with me. Kirby feels a little too slow to control, and the game is made in a 2D 3D style that I think 3D World did better years prior. I'm personally a big Xenoblade fan, and 3 ended up being my favorite in the franchise by far. Pokemon Violet, for it being a sloppy mess, I actually quite enjoyed. 2023 was my first year being an adult in the workforce, so I had more money to spend on games. I would end up buying Metroid Prime Remaster, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4, and Mario Bros. Wonder all on release, and getting Fire Emblem Gage and Super Mario RPG as gifts later on. Out of those games, I've only finished Kirby's Return to Dreamland and Tears of the Kingdom. I spent my entire second half of May playing Tears of the Kingdom, but once I finished the game at the start of June, I never picked it back up. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time, but unfortunately, I am one of the people who thought Tears of the Kingdom fell flat. I barely put any time into other games released this year, so I will abstain from talking about them. 2024, the final standalone year of the original Switch, I ended up buying nothing on release this year. The website PlayAsia would offer a 3 for 100 deal, and I ended up buying Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Pikmin 1 and 2, along with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I've yet to insert Pikmin or Paper Mario into my Switch, but I did play through the first 2 main areas in Luigi's Mansion. That game is nostalgic for me, although I do have to admit it's not that good of a game. I would get Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Mario Party Jamboree, and Mario and Luigi Brothership as gifts later on, though I only played a bit of Echoes before ultimately deciding that the 2D Zelda just isn't for me. I only just played my first game of Mario Party Jamboree yesterday as of writing this, and all I can say is that it's definitely another Mario Party game. In 2025, I ended up buying one Switch game before the release of the Switch 2. That being Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I played this game for about 3 hours before stopping. The game looks a little too gross for my liking, and the lower FPS is just too noticeable on the original Switch, so I will wait for an upgrade on the Switch 2 to play it. All that out of the way, what really changed? Why did a simple console upgrade fill me with an enjoyment that I thought was fading? Well, before I can answer that, we must look at the build-up for the Switch 2 and its launch. In fall 2024, the entirety of the Switch 2 model was leaked. This confirmed basically all rumors about the system and made people wonder why Nintendo would wait so long to reveal their console. Nintendo would not address the leaks publicly, but they would drop the most "here it is, leave us alone, damn" video in January. This video would do nothing for most people, except yep, that was the thing that was leaked. Overall, the hype factor was at a 0. They wouldn't talk about it again until the Switch 2 Direct in April. This Direct left many split on if it was good or not, but me personally, I lean towards the good. But it was what came after that would create all the internet discourse to come. Nintendo conveniently left out all the prices in the Direct, but began posting them on Twitter afterwards. And the internet was not happy. The main center of contention being $80 Mario Kart. This killed all the hype from the Direct and made me rethink all of my life decisions. $70 was already a lot, and Nintendo had only charged $70 for a game one time, so it seemed like all games were going to be getting a $20 price increase. Nobody was talking about the console itself anymore. Instead, it was all about the greed and the gaming industry. The discourse had started to fade, but this left a bad stain across the board, and so much misinformation was spread about the Switch 2 as a result. All that being said, Why did I end up buying one? Originally, I pre-ordered it because I had a way of getting it cheaper than most others thanks to employee discount. So my Mario Kart bundle was around $460 instead of $530. I had zero hype for Mario Kart though. From what Nintendo showed, there was nothing that seemed cool or interesting enough for me to buy a whole new system for it. Alas, I knew I would have to get a Switch 2 eventually if I were to play the next Xenoblade and other Nintendo games I like. And since my country is ruled by a bunch of narcissistic, stupid rich people who throw around the word tarot for fun, I justified getting the Mario Kart bundle by saying it was a free game with my discount. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have gotten it. Still, after nearly a month with my Switch 2 and Mario Kart, I only have 9 hours on it. Truly, the first $80 game I wouldn't buy for more than $50. So if my passion wasn't recaptured by Mario Kart, what did? To put it plainly, it was old love in a new way. What do I mean by that exactly? Well, I revisited games I had loved in the past. I shilled out the extra $10 for the Breath of the Wild upgrade pack, only because it's one of my top 10 games of all time, and it gave me an excuse to revisit it. Before I knew it, I had put another 50 hours into the land of Hyrule. This spark gave me enough momentum to go and try other games, both old and new ones. I first tried Splatoon 3. I was a big fan of Splatoon 2 in the past, like 350 hours in the game kind of fan, but the inevitable march of time, I forgot about it. Though thanks to a free upgrade for Splatoon 3, I got back into the world of Splatoon. I had originally bought Splatoon 3 on a whim back in 2023 from an extra voucher from Tears of the Kingdom, because Lord knows I wasn't paying $70 for a Switch 1 game. But I only spent about 3 hours before never picking it back up. I don't know why I stopped then, maybe I just didn't feel fresh enough to me yet. But once I picked it back up on Switch 2, it felt like a remaster of the game middle school me loved so much. All this talk of the past made me check out Switch 1 games I had yet to play or never gave a fair shot, specifically Metroid Dread. I had yet to beat the game, but I'm about 6 hours in and I am having so much fun. This made me ask the question of why did I drop it the first time? I had only 40 minutes on the save before I never picked it back up again. So why can I be having so much fun the second time but drop it so quickly on the first? I believe the answer was simply that I gave up. The first minor inconvenience, I put the game down and told myself I'd figure it out later. But later never came. It's only because I persevered through those inconveniences the second time that I was truly able to experience the best of what Metroid Dread had to offer. The reason I had less and less fun with games over the years was simply because I wasn't challenging myself. I was asking myself to figure out where to go, or how to beat this tough boss, or engage with the story. I wasn't asking myself to figure out where to go, or how to beat this tough boss, or engage with a complex story. I told myself I was playing games for fun, but I never realized where that fun came from. Fun doesn't come by doing the same repetitive thing over and over. It comes from challenging oneself and overcoming obstacles. I dropped games because I believed the lie I told myself, that games are simply fun, and if they're not, it's a bad game. The false belief I told myself was hindering me from experiencing something new. This new answer I found gave me enough momentum to try games I had never played before. I picked up Cyberpunk and have sunk 5 hours into that so far. I picked up the Ninja Gaiden trilogy and have beaten the first 4 chapters of the first game. I got Monster Hunter Rise, but got confused and told myself I was gonna watch a YouTube tutorial later. But I've been having fun with these games that I never would have tried otherwise. All this brings up an important question. Where does the actual Switch 2 console come into play? I could have played any of these games on PC, so what makes the Switch special? I believe that what makes the Switch 2 special is the same thing that made the first one special. There's simply nothing like it. Over the years, I stopped using handheld mode entirely. That's because I was thinking about it all wrong. The Switch is not a portable device, but it is still a handheld. To distinguish it from things like the DS, I'm giving it a new name. The Switch is a household handheld. Let me explain. You could play it docked sitting at the couch, or you could take it to your kitchen while you go cook, or bring it to your bedroom, take it to a friend's house, or just on the front porch. Now, there's nothing special about a handheld at all anymore. Everyone has a smartphone that's just a computer in your pocket. A computer that has access to social media, games, tools, anything you can think of. All the Switch has is games, and that's its biggest strength. The simplicity. Old people were right about one thing. It really is that damn phone. It's easy to scroll on social media, to watch a show, to watch someone play a game. It's easy to let someone do the thinking for you, to rot on your phone. That's the trap I fell in for years. But the Switch 2 reminded me just how fun it is to accomplish something, even if that accomplishment is by all means worthless. So instead of always just going on your phone when you're looking for dopamine, take out your Switch instead, and just put in the tiniest bit of effort so that you can have fun again. It's the joy of doing something new. That is what makes gaming fun.